When other guys who can outright me, they didn't brand themselves properly, and then 3 years later they fizzle off. Hmm? Now, before I was a writer, I was an art major, right? So I mean, all this is art. Whether you paint the picture with words, or I'm creating a whole theme with a coat, or whether it's a painting, like all of it is art. It's all the visual inside my mind, and I had to bring it out and translate it to the world, right? So, but I majored in fine and industrial art, way back as a kid. So I have an art background. So I grew up drawing characters and drawing them with the newest coats, the sheepskin coats, and all the new apparel. So this is 4 years now. I jumped back. I put the pencil down a long time ago. But 4 years ago, I ran into a situation, a manufacturer that could make the coats for me. So that just put me again the business side of me. I go back to what I know. I pull the pads back out and I start drawing coats, and I try the first one. And I try the second one, and I try to, and see now the branding process of that is I have a base, that I love my base because they support me in anything that I do. So the transition was smooth from going these same dudes who supported the books all across the country. You got to figure this, right? A guy did 10 years in the prison. He come home, and all he want to do is talk to his favorite author. Like it's like in those most intimate times of his life, the darkest times of his life. When it was just him in the darkness, his mother probably passed away. His father probably passed away. His wife left him. He has a book for me every year. Me and him are closer than anybody else. You understand? Like I've been with him through the darkest times. So now when he come home for the first time, he finds me on social media, and he sees that I'm doing coats, and this is his payment back for me being with him without me even knowing him. Me being with him during his darkest times, he feel like it's only right to buy this coat and to continue to support, right? So one guy said to me, he said, I didn't know if I got 2 pages, so I sent 1 page. He asked me about a coat, and I told him. He said, "Yo, how I know you're not a scam?" Because the coat was like $2,000, right? He said, "How do I know it's not a scam?" I said, "Well, I don't have any way to prove to you that it's not a scam, but all I can do is direct you to my main page." So I direct him to my main page. He come right back and say, "Wow, you AL-Saadiq Banks. I read every book you had. I read all 13 of your books. This, that, and the third. Blah 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 blah." He sent me the $2,000, right? So now he sent me the $2,000. I sent him the coat in 2 weeks, right? And I thank him. I said, "Bro, I just want to let you know that I appreciate you, and I thank you for trusting me with the $2,000 from across the country. You don't even know me." He said, "I know you more than you think I know you." He said, I read every book you wrote." He said, "I know how you think. I know how you move." He said, "If you would have beat me for the $2,000, I just would have charged you to the game that I read you wrong." This is how close these people are to you through these books, and that's what blew my mind early off. Like, wow, like the first time I saw a girl cry when meeting me, it blew my mind. I laughed out of nervousness. Like she said, "Wow, you AL-Saadiq Banks," and she bust out crying, and I laughed in her face, like because I didn't know how to handle that. Like I never realized that words meant that much to people, but you don't know what these people are going through in life. You don't know what these people are going through in life while they're reading that book. Indeed, yeah. That's right. Yeah, and so that's why we said, how did I get into the coats? So when I try the coats, and I see that, wow, my base really support me in this. You know what I'm saying? And they asking for more, just like they were asking for more with the books. They asking for more. Yo, can you change that collar? Can you change this? Can you add this? So now, like, wow. So now the same gratification that I would get. It take me 6 months to write a book, right? I write the book in 6 months. I send it to the editor. It takes me 9 months total. So you're talking about a whole year before I could put that book in your hand, because that's really what it matters. After all of this work, when I put it in your hand and you tell me what it is, that's when I feel like my job is done, right? And when you say, yo, this book is right, right? So now that same, it takes me 9 months to get gratification in the book, but it takes me 3 weeks to get the gratification in the coat. So it was like, aha, like, yo, I can get this same fix in 3 weeks that I was waiting for 9 months for. You get what I'm saying? I mean, again, I like this right here is a cashmere with a full crystal fox collar, right? Too loud for me, but I know there's the guys who read my book, the flashy guys, like, these guys who when they were in the world, they drive Rolls Royce and they wear full of meat coats. This is the type of coat that they like. They like to make a statement. You know what I mean? So, for me, when I make a coat, it's like I have a movie in my head for that coat already. So I know what this coat for. If you say, listen, man, I need a coat made, I say, where you going? I'm going to the opera. I know what to do. If you say I'm going to see Lion King, I know what to do. If you say I'm going to All-Star Weekend, I know exactly what you're gonna do. We're gonna create a whole movie for you. When you walk on that basketball court at All-Star Weekend, right? When you walk, the movie gonna be your movie, because I'm gonna make the coat fit what we got going on right there.
And not only the books and everything else available, also links, your coats on the website, True to Life.
Yes.
Scanning through a few, that's one of the ones that caught my eye. All really great pieces of art themselves.
Thank you.
Again, AL-Saadiq. And any questions for AL-Saadiq? It looks like you have a lot of fans who are watching, listening in on Bourbon Live. Ask away. A lot of people watching. Really glad to have Matty and AL-Saadiq joining us from Sanj. What are you smoking on there?
Placencia. This is actually, right? Now I've been smoking now for maybe 16 years, right?
Yeah.
I done smoked everything. I'm in here with the king of this thing, right? So it's nothing out here that's worth smoking that I haven't smoked. No matter what it is, right? And out of everything that I've ever smoked, this is my favorite out of everything. 16 years of smoking, this is my favorite right here. Mm-hmm.
Back there listening to 25-year history, those guys together.
Indeed, yeah. With this guy, I've had every education tutorial with cigars, from way back. So I'm no stranger to move around in the cigar world. I smoke everything that's out there, and I think the first time I only had 5 of these within the last year, so I only pull it out certain times. But I don't think I've had anything that comes close to this.
That is a nice one. I'm doing an Cuba Arte this weekend at I'm having some of the Peerless single barrel bourbon.
Okay.
This particular release is actually because they change the releases every time. Barrel. They name a different name based on what it tastes like.
Okay.
And this release is actually called
What's going on,
Vintage Cigar Bombs.
Okay.
How you doing, my brother?
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah.
What are you pairing your cigar with there, Sadiq? Are you
Water right now.
water too?
Yeah, I'm really in the warmer months. I'm drinking Amarone. Uh, yeah, that's where I'm at. You know, different. I really just got into the Amarones maybe three months ago. So I'm just finding my way around there. You know, I'm just collecting different pieces and trying different things. So that's really what I really drink a lot of red wine in warmer months. Then when it's cold, I like the bourbons when it's cold, like now. But I haven't really gotten into the bourbons this season right here. But normally I'm Rare Breed. Rare Breed is one of my favorites. Elijah Craig is one of my favorites, and Four Roses Single Barrel. Those are my top three that I like to move around with right there. Yeah, but I haven't really got. I've tried a lot of different ones, but as far as like what you got right there, like I haven't really got into the super. I'm more on the generic side with it. I haven't really got into a lot of those like that. You know what I mean?
Well, you're mentioning some of my favorites. I was just sipping on a single barrel last night as
It's
well.
my favorite. That's my favorite. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that. And I love the Rare Breed. That higher proof wild turkey is beautiful.
Yeah, I love Rare Breed, man. Love it.
So good.
Mm-hmm.
That's always been a favorite of mine.
Yeah.
So when I'm seeing you smoking this cigar and we're talking about wines and whiskeys, I'm imagining you writing some of these books. Do you have a cigar in hand as you're writing this?
I'm funny with the cigar. I only smoke one cigar a day, and I've been like that for 16 years, right? And I only can smoke at night because once I smoke, I go, I'm ready to go to sleep. So for the most part of the day, you'll see me writing. I'll have the cigar in my mouth, but I won't light it until I have a regimen. I like for me, a cigar is a celebration every time I light it. That's why I only do one a day. I don't want to smoke 2 cigars, 3 a day, because then it's no longer a celebration. I'm just overdosing with it. So at the end of my day, when I've made a couple dollars and I've done some work, I celebrate at 10 o'clock and I light every day, same time, 10 o'clock. I'm lighting a little early today, but normally that's my regimen.
You're getting that one in early today.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Take a moment if you have a question for AL-Saadiq, ask us down below. Dave, Keisha, Vince, Colton, great to have all of you watching, and of course, as always, we will have this conversation up on our podcast. If you're not already subscribed to our Bourbon Blog podcast, I know a number of you are. Subscribe to our podcast on that link down below, anchor.fm/Bourbon Blog, so that we can keep on spreading the love of cigars, whiskey, and more. Matty, I don't know what date. I'm going to have to look it up, but I know at least in the next couple of weeks or month, we're going to be hitting probably 52 episodes. We've been doing this based on nearly since the pandemic started, which we are shut down. We're only pay for that.
Yeah, I think second week in March. So I think next week will probably mark the 1-year anniversary. You gotta go check it out.
I remember when y'all first started too.
That's right.
Yeah.
You can light up fireworks, go shoot with the neighbors, right, Sanj?
Good. We should be lighting a firework off for next week's episode. Absolutely. We've done a lot of it. It's been a pleasure having all of you join us for I know some of you, Shad and Chairman Lai, and a lot of y'all have been watching this every week for those 52 weeks. And
Wow.
I've had a fun time joining you, Matty, and Sanj, and everyone else that's been a part of the show the last 52 weeks.
Much more we appreciate it. Everybody's been tuning in. Thanks for joining us on the journey. We started out as a COVID show. Now it's gone on for a year. We're appreciative of all of you. Much love and thanks. And speaking of COVID, I always make sure people who are not 100% aware what Tom's been doing while we have been on hiatus. Tom is usually on the road probably 180 days plus a year, doing these tastings, doing these educations of fine liquors and bourbons. Tom, why don't you let everybody know how they can do what we're doing here for a large virtual audience. You can do your tastings and pairings.
Yes, thanks so much, Matty. We will continue for a while. It's virtual tastings. The way to learn about virtual tastings for your family, your friends, small groups, or even big groups for your business is bourbonblog.com/tasting, or just drop me a
tell Big Boy that we they put tell Big Boy out that I'm up here.
That way we can even send you the bourbon. We can send you minis, or we can get big bottles to send you. We're doing a lot of these, so hit us up, hit me up, Tom at Bourbon Blog, even if you just want to say hi.
Now, what's your favorite bourbon though? What's your favorite bourbon? I know there's so many though.
Oh, that's a good question. It all depends on the mood. You mentioned, I've always been a big fan since the early days. I've always liked that rare range, which I like. Those stronger proof bourbons. A lot of times it's just whatever I have in hand. I do love the girls' bourbons and ryes. Trying this one tonight. Of course, they only made like 300 bottles of this single, around 300. I don't know.
Oh wow.
This single barrel release. So I love this. When we were tasting these yesterday, we were tasting through some of their newest releases at the distillery. This was by far one of my very favorites. But there's a lot that I enjoy. I like higher proof bourbons. I like straight from the barrel. I love the Jefferson's Oceans. Those are some fun ones. I always like trying new ones too. There's new ones. There's a lot of great bourbons coming from the East Coast that I love as well.
Oh yeah. See, and my whole thing, like I have, I get so crazy with it. So as soon as I got into the bourbons, maybe 6-7 years ago, I had to cut it off because I started going to the store and I started going online and I'm a label chaser. So like I like what'll get me is like that bottle you have right there. Like they automatically get me because of the packaging. That's the business part of me again. As soon as I see the packaging, like if I like the packaging, even if I never drink it, I gotta grab it just because I like the packaging. You know what I mean?
It's the art, isn't it? It's the story that this tells. Not only, and this label is actually a recreation from a pre-prohibition label that the brand was like most every other brand. They were killed during the prohibition era, 1933. They were able to find these older labels. They recreated that. Basically looks about the same. And then for these single barrel ones, the art is so special. The story that these tell.
That's right. Yeah.
And always all spirits, especially that have been aged, will tell a story. And that's part of what the flavor is and what the story is to understand that story. And then when you pair with a cigar or cheese or whatever you pair it with, it just tells that story.
Yeah. I mean, I love the whole culture of it, man. I love, it's a culture. People don't really. Like this guy one time, he was like, "Yo, I want you to drink some Remy with me with the cigar." I said, "Never. I would never ever. That's not what I want to do. I don't want to do Remy. Like if we're gonna really get into this thing, I'm gonna show you how to get into the culture of it. It's not gonna be Hennessy and it's not gonna be Remy. It's gonna be bourbon. It's gonna be Scotch, and that's how we're gonna play it. You know what I mean?
Good whiskey and cigar.
That's right.
I'm looking forward to hopefully we'll get back to the East Coast, hanging out with you, AL-Saadiq, and we'll get there in Sanj with Matty. We'll have some good sips and some good smokes. Now, one of the things I heard you mention earlier, or Sanj was mentioning that one of your books is going to become a film or a TV show, or already is?
Yes, we're in the edit phase right now of it's actually the third book that I wrote, 2002. That's the third one. We just shot it from August to December. We finished in December, and now we're in edit phase, and we expecting to maybe the summertime. Now this one right here is a little different because this is like the pivotal book. This is where the first book was a separate storyline from the second book. But those two books, I never wrote any of these books to be connected, but it just happened this way. So now by the second book, I have two different storylines, but I bring them together in the third book. So this third book right here is more of like a twisted romance type of story, right? But the reason that we chose that one as the film is because, in a time like this, you got certain TV shows with the shoot 'em up, bang bang, and the gangster, and it's kind of hard to get in the door with that because there's so much of that out there, right? So I figure you can never really go wrong with a romance story. Everybody has been in love, and everybody can relate to this story, this type of story. Whether it's this exact storyline, I mean, it's the basis of it is love, and everybody wants to be in love at the end of the day. So I feel we can get through the door faster with this one than some of my more complex pieces. So the whole thing is to get in with this, and then I can bring, I have an 8-part series, which is called Block Party. That's the real bread and butter. I can learn the game with this particular project right here. I can learn the game. I can build my resources up, and I can get, I can do some networking off of this piece, and then I can slam them with with the real piece. Then we get, we can really hit them with the real bread and butter this time.
And that sounds incredible. The film, the series will be working. Where will we be able to watch this?
I mean, right now, like I said, we learning the game with it. So once, I mean, we done. For me, I always like to pattern what we do, with the majors. So if I want to share the same shelf with the majors, then I have to emulate the majors. So that's with books, that's with art, that's with coats. Like, I can't make a coat and I want top dollar for it, and Neiman Marcus is doing something better than me. So I'm never looking at independent in anything. I'm not looking at the independent authors. I'm looking at what the majors are doing. The majors doing it this way, I got to do it that way. If Neiman Marcus is doing it this way, I got to do it that way. If Lionsgate is doing it this way, it has to be done that way. So once it's completed, you know what I mean. We got some real talent there. This is not no YouTube series type of stuff. It's not like just me with a camera and I'm learning how to shoot. No, like we really had a production team. We got real name actors. So now that puts us in a place where when it's time to pitch, I can say, listen, check out this girl. You know what I'm saying? I may not have the accolades as a because what I do in the book game doesn't necessarily translate into the film world. And I know this, so what I've done is I made sure that I get actors who have their own accolades. So now when I sit down with a distribution company, I can say, well, this girl right here, my main girl, her resume is 5 pages long. This guy, his resume is 3 pages long. This guy, his is 6 pages long. You know what I mean? So now it puts us in we're in an arena of we can compete now because we got the same kind of talent that the majors have with them. Yeah. So I'm hoping that works well. I'm not even hoping because I have this motto with me that anything that I want to do, I tell anybody who know me will tell you this about me. I don't think it's nothing that I can't do.
Right.
I feel like whatever it is that I want to do, I can do it, and I prove it to myself that I can do it. So win, lose, or draw, like you got guys who think from a perspective of, damn, what if it don't work? I've never thought like that. I've never ever. I know once I put my hand on something, it gotta go because I'm gonna make it go. So that I feel the same way about this film. Like as soon as this film is done, it has to go because we're gonna make it go, and we're not gonna stop until it go.
And you have a great story. It sounds like a lot of great people already involved. As far as the actors in this, are you able to share who the actors are, or the?
No, I mean they're not actors like they're not A-list actors that people probably would know, but these people have really worked on major sets. Yes, they worked on major sets, and not just saying it because it's our project, but I believe that if they didn't, if nobody looked at them, this script right here is going to make some people look at them.
Right. That's incredible. Congratulations on
Yeah,
that.
that's how I feel about that, man. Thank you.
Yeah, well, we're excited to hear more about that as it progresses. And during the last year or so, I'm going to assume that you might have been doing some writing. What have you been working on in addition to the film?
Yeah, I always have something on my computer.
Yeah.
So I'm, where I normally write 15 hours a day, I haven't been able to write 15 hours a day because I'm on a set with this, or I'm doing something with a coat, or I'm doing something with a paint. So I'm kind of, for me, it's all about right now. I feel like I've built my legacy with these books already, and I can do this. I can do this every other year. I can do this one a year. Like my legacy is built with that, right? Now, because I'm just trying to pile on now. I have children, you know what I'm saying? I have daughters, and when I'm dead and gone, I know that I'll be, they'll speak more highly of me once I'm gone. So when they speak about me when I'm gone, I want to make sure that all that I didn't get here, my family can get all that I didn't get. So that's the branding process for me. Like once a lot of people, again, once you brand yourself in one thing, that doesn't mean you have to stay in that same place. You look at people like Kim Kardashian, right? Or you look at people, these people get it. These people get it because they understand that once you brand yourself, your people who support you and like what you do will like everything that you do. Some won't, everybody won't follow over, but you have a core audience. Because listen, a person can buy a book from anywhere, right? But if you're one of my readers, you rather buy that book from me because you're invested in me, right? So what that does is you've developed is brand reputation, where these people right here, they like the reputation that you have. So they say, you know what, I really didn't care for the last book, but I really rock with you, and that's key. So I have no doubt that, like, you know,
You got your audience.
you got your audience.
They're invested in you, man.
Yeah, and the fact that you take the audience serious, like, I don't play with that. Like, I don't say, oh, they gonna follow me with whatever I do, so I can halfway do it. I don't think like that. I think like I have an obligation to them. These people trust me that I'm never going to stand wrong, and I can't stand wrong.
You're doing great work, and your story's really inspiring. It's a cool story.
Thanks, man.
Yes, absolutely, Brent. I want to put this up here one more time. TrueToLifeProductions.com is where to go. And Sanj, what are you smoking on there, Sanj?
I'm smoking Matty. You mean this her or Stelly?
You're joining Matty now, I see.
Yeah. You know, Saadiq was nervous earlier, so he said, bro, sit next to me. I said,
You put me right on blast.
Sanj is all about the support, Thomas. That's why we don't have family here.
You're gonna be surprised here in a few minutes if Sanj shows up next to me.
Yeah, right. He pop up.
He's gonna have enough fancy machine.
He can do it. He does some crazy shit, so don't be too proud.
That'll be epic. Well, hopefully I'll be popping up there real soon there with y'all in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
It's great to have all these folks joining us again. Once again, True to Life Production. That has all your social media, all the places to follow you, AL-Saadiq, is that right?
Yes, yep. AL-Saadiq, thanks. Here, AL-Saadiq on Instagram is AL-Saadiq.
Where they can follow you
Yeah.
on Twitter and Instagram.
Tell us where to follow you.
Instagram is Al_Saadiq SAADIQ_BANKS. That's my Instagram. Twitter is at Al-Saadiq, I believe. ALSAADIQ. And Facebook is Al-Saadiq Banks, True to Life Publications.
Did I do the right one for Instagram? Hopefully I did.
Say it again.
Is that the right
No, underscore after the Q.
Oh, after the Q.
Mhm.
Okay, I got it. Okay, we'll put it once again because we want to make sure they get the sort of following on Instagram. Gotten better and better doing all that over here to the side. Very nice, very nice. What's happening next week? Well, Matty, this is such a great conversation. I'm enjoying this. What are we looking at next week?
So I got to figure out. So we have 4 or 5 different guests. I got to figure out who's going to be who. We have Del Harvey, Hill Street Blues coming up. We have we have Lloyd Anohi from the Samoans wrestling. We have wrestler Kevin Sullivan. A whole bunch of different people coming on. So as soon as we figure out who's going to be where next week, we'll get that done. But got 3 or 4 guests already, and we just got to figure out which Saturday each person is doing.
We will keep letting you know here on Cigar Saturday.
Sanj says we're lighting fireworks for the anniversary.
We're in Nazareth. The fireworks being lit at Sanj's.
Absolutely. If that's what you want, I'm a pyromaniac.
We'll do it. Do you already have some in your supply there, Sanj?
Yes. We have all the fireworks. We're ready. Now, I'm not too far from Middle East. Remember that. I You'll see us on the news, is what he's saying.
It'll be major news.
So we either check it here or like CNN or something. Either way, you'll see us.
We're going to do something. We'll make sure we continue to get on that map there. Well, gentlemen, great having all of you watching us tonight. And AL-Saadiq, really a pleasure, brother, to meet you.
Hey, man, likewise, man. Thank you for having me, man.
Virtually, and to have a little smoke with you, conversation. I was going to ask this earlier, and I think someone else asked under comments. You were inspired to write by who? Who really inspired you when you began to write?
See, that's the crazy part, man. I've never really been a fiction reader. So, again, all I can say is it's all art for me. It goes back to sitting down, and drawing from the cereal boxes and copying, different artists, right? So now I find a way that when I start writing, I can paint these same pictures with words.
Right.
So that's what, it's just, for me, it's just the love of art that really keep me moving. That's it. That's why, I came up with the log line, AL-Saadiq Banks, the man and the brand that art built. Because it's like, for me, it's all about art, man. It's not about, I don't even look at this as writing. I look at it as like I'm creating these themes and these movies on paper. So when a person sit there and tell me like, yo, I could picture it all because it's art. I can use keywords. And I can control your emotions through certain words. So now if you were in a bad mood, I can either use this word to drag you in even a darker place, or I can lighten you up and pull you out. So that's the power of words. So like even when I'm talking to people, or I'm listening to people, like I'll ask you the same question 3 times. Like I say, hey man, so let me ask you a question. When you walk through the door, what did his face look like? This is how I am in real life. I need to visualize how was his face when you walked in the door. How did the door creak? Did the door creak, or did it just was it loose? I need to know the details, because for me, this is all the things that really make the difference. You know what I'm saying? Creating that visual in the person's mind. The noises, the expressions, everything. You know what I mean? So like I said, it's all artwork, man. You know what I'm saying? If I put on the canvas and I put the bright colors, or I put the dull colors, it's art. You know what I mean? If I put this coat and I put the bright color and then I tone it down with a dark fur collar, you know what I'm saying? Now I created this contrast. I'll create a whole different situation.
Everything you want to just get into all those senses to make sure that
Exactly.
image is right there.
Yeah. If you tell me how you're feeling, I need to know the words to pull you out of that place. And I can do this with painting. I can do this with designing. I can do this with a film. This could be done with music. Whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? It's just really just pulling out these emotions that these people feel. And that's why art is so beautiful, because what this piece of artwork means nothing to this guy, but it means everything in the world to this particular person, because it's all about what he feel like inside.
What do you think as we come out of this, and again, I feel like we're coming out of this, I don't know, this era, I think it's changed a lot of things, right? You know what we're doing now, virtual conversation. But with regard to art, how do you think that the last 12 months is going to change art? I mean, all the things that have happened. What's any predictions you want to make?
I think it's a very trying time, but I think it put the fire under people's feet.
Yes.
I think it made people things that we may have taken for granted before. I don't think we take those things for granted. I mean, little things like being able to go to a restaurant and sit down and have dinner with your family. Like, those are things that we just did on Sunday regardless. Now we realize, like, this is really a privilege to be able to do this. You know what I mean? The death rate has showed us that no day is promised to none of us. So, even for me, like, I battle with days where I feel depressed, because it's like every day now, it feel like I'm sitting around with a stopwatch, not knowing how much time I really have. You know what I mean? So it has it has affected me in a way. Normally I don't get caught up in the media. I don't get caught up in what the rest of the world is. I kind of just try to keep it in this little circle. But now I'm forced to look around to see how the world is moving and how it's really going to affect me. You know what I mean? So I think, if nothing else, I think that we're not taking things for granted as we used to, and we realize there's really no time to play. There's really no time to play. We got to work. And you can't say tomorrow, because we've seen guys who probably felt like it was going to be a tomorrow, and there is no tomorrow. We knew this already, but to see it at such an alarming rate, I think it has really affected the people in a different way.
Yeah, so true. And those I agree. And those same feelings and thoughts, and just appreciating the present. I think that will be a theme that will carry over not only into art, but into so many aspects.
Yeah, I mean, it's a dark time. You know what I mean? It's a dark time for everybody. People, it's just, I mean, even the super wealthy, it's a dark time for them. And it may not be a dark time for them because of finances. It's a dark time to see their friends passing away with millions and millions of dollars, never get a chance to enjoy them. So it's dark for everybody. So I think, if we didn't get anything from this, I think it's more about not taking time for granted, not taking people for granted. The things that really, the money really doesn't mean anything in the pandemic right now. what means is, what means something to people is being, the family member that you didn't talk to for 6 years, you might need to get hold to him because you don't know if he's gonna be there next time you decide to get off your high horse and start talking to him.
Very true. And that's been a common theme, right? Appreciate, if anything, you learn to appreciate the little things.
Small things, man. Yeah.
Anything that any of us have learned from this is those little things are important, and being around people are important, and not taking people for granted equally important. So
Yeah, indeed.
through, hopefully when this is all said and done, people remember these things and we all pull together a little bit better, treat each other a little bit better. So hopefully we'll learn.
Yeah.
This has been, I've enjoyed this conversation so much.
Thank you, bro.
This really has been one of my favorite episodes we've done on Speak.
Thanks a lot, bro. I appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so thrilled to we'll definitely have to get back on here. And Matty, as soon as we have so many more fun guests and unique people coming up for Cigar Saturday. And again, take a moment to share this, like this, and Sanj, for the next week or two, you'll be ready with some cigar and fireworks.
No doubt.